I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah, I think it's on. Right now on KSAT and GMSA, Spurs fans are buzzing about the blockbuster trade that's bringing the NBA All-Star De'Aaron Fox to the Alamo City. We're going to break down the move and what the Spurs had to give up in return. Plus,
the Frost Bank Center is about to get filled with 2,000 tons of dirt. Coming up, how and why on GMSA.
And of course, we're taking a live look outside. Good morning, San Antonio. That fog is around. Justin Horn is going to tell you all about it coming up.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning. It is now 6 o'clock on your Monday, February the 3rd.
that's right. So if you're listening, maybe you heard the tail end. We were talking a little bit about the Spurs
Yeah.
and the Dallas Mavericks. They also made a huge move, but obviously the talk of the town this morning is going to be our San Antonio Spurs, and we're going to dive more into that big-time trade to bring De'Aaron Fox to the Alamo City coming up in just a bit.
A lot of behind-the-scenes conversations going on.
Yeah.
But we got to get into the front of the scenes with Justin Horn, who's been giving us this fog that's coming in. But the warmer temperatures, though.
Very warm, above average. You know, we're going to be in the 80s today. The average high temperature is 65, just to give you some perspective. So 80s probably are going to be the norm this week. It was warm like that this weekend. We had those temperatures make it into the low 80s yesterday. Here's what I'm thinking today, 82 here in San Antonio. Some places could be in the upper 80s this afternoon, especially south of San Antonio. So this is a very spring-like pattern that we're moving into. Now, the problem with that is we're getting some moisture influx, too, so that means that fog is going to be a possibility. Still seeing a little bit of that here in San Antonio, but, you know, honestly, we had kind of a bout of fog, and now it's kind of lifted. 63 at the airport. We are still reporting 2-mile visibility there. 63 New Braunfels, 64 Converse, 57 Bernie, 64 at Stinson. Everyone's looking at a south wind right now, and you can feel that humidity out there. Visibility, as I said, coming down in spots. Gonzales, Victoria, Beeville, here in San Antonio, but the thickest fog is down along the coast, and we just got an update there, and it looks like we are seeing some improving numbers. It's not bad for your Monday morning commute, but also keep in mind, you can see a little bit of fog, and not fog, we just talked about that, but drizzle and mist along with all of this as well. We've got the warm week, yes, but a cold front is in the 7-day forecast. We'll show you when and where coming up in just a couple minutes. But let's check in on your traffic now, see how things are going there, guys.
All right, Justin. Well, yeah, you mentioned the fog. That's kind of a little bit of an issue as we take a look at some of our cameras here. 35 at New Braunfels Avenue, and let's see if we get a few more here. I know the west side of town was seeing some of the heavier fog, if you want to call it that. 35 FM 3009. Traffic looking good there for all of our folks out there. Cibolo, Selma, and Schertz, and 37 Jones Avenue traffic looking okay for the most part on the east side of town. Inbound times, everything's looking good. You're coming in from Pleasanton on 37, 24 minutes, 31 minutes if you're coming in on Highway 181. And our outbound times here, 26 minutes out there to New Braunfels and 25 minutes out on I-10 West if you are headed out to Bernie this morning, Jeff.
All right, we're getting closer and closer to the start of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, kicking off this Thursday.
Yes, all right. Cannot wait. It is rodeo season, y'all. And if you can't have your rodeo without some dirt, getting a little bit messy out there, volunteers are loading literally tons of it into the Frost Bank Center right now.
And that's where we find our very own Devin Karp this morning. Devin, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Jeff. I'm doing good. I'm at a view you don't usually get to see from the bottom floor right here of the Frost Bank Center. Check it out. This is where the Spurs play. This is where everyone for the rodeo is. And soon, it's about to get real dirty here. About more than 2,000 tons of dirt coming up as the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo gets ready to kick off everything coming up for this Thursday. But I want you guys to take a look at some of this time-lapse video that we have where you can see just how much dirt gets spread through here. Now, the dirt was actually purchased back in 1988 by the San Antonio Rodeo. That was done over near Charlotte, Texas. It takes about 2,160 tons of dirt and soil to make it all happen here. Now it's kind of blended in with a little bit of sand too as needed, just so that way the animal athletes can have a good idea of what they need to be at their peak performance. Purchasing new soil every year would cost around $20,000 to $25,000. So it's a good thing they keep reusing and recycling for now. They're going to keep doing this with tons of volunteers starting later this morning. Should be around 6:30, 7 o'clock. We'll see when everyone gets in, but I'll tell you, it takes a lot of work to get this done. It's about 7 hours of work bringing all of this dirt into here, and then it's going to be about 5 hours to get it out at the end of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Now, in the meantime, pretty cool to see all the equipment where everything's going to happen here this morning. You can even see some of the dirt with everyone getting ready on the construction and the tractor equipment out here. We're getting ready for it. I think it's going to be a pretty good time. I've never really thought too much about the dirt under my feet, but listening to the whole process here, it's something they think about a lot. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to y'all. For KSAT 12 News, Devin Karp.
All right, thank you very much, Devin. Yeah, credit to that crew out there, that staff. They just had Spurs games there over the weekend. So the reminder here, the rodeo kicking off on Thursday, and it runs until February 23rd. The festivities kicked off on Saturday with the Western Heritage Weekend. They had the cattle drive out there, and we are still gearing up for all of the fun. Right now on our website, we have a list of all the performers at this year's rodeo. All you got to do is head over to KSAT.com and look for that story.
The state of our state has never been better.
All right, that came straight from Governor Greg Abbott himself before outlining issues that he wants state lawmakers to focus on in this current legislative session. That's
right. Our Governor Greg Abbott took the stage last night to deliver his State of the State address.
Our very own Patty Santos right now telling us that the governor's speech filled with several issues that he says are emergency items. Good morning.
Hey there. Good morning, guys. I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to Abbott's speech, but he says he's pushing state lawmakers to focus on those issues between now and the end of this legislative session, which is around June. Those priorities include things like a $10 billion property tax relief plan, investing in creating more water sources over the next 50 years, school vouchers in the form of education savings accounts, and hiring the best teachers. That means increasing teachers' average salary, just to name a few of his ideas so far.
To increase teachers' average salary to an all-time high, I'm declaring teacher pay an emergency item this session. We must reward the best teachers by putting them on a path to earn a six-figure salary. More than 25,000 teachers are already on that path. We must expand that merit program to every school district in the entire state.
The state security is also a top priority for the governor. He is establishing a state cyber command center. It would be run right here in the San Antonio area, and it would play a big part in protecting Texas from foreign cyber attacks. The governor also dived into many other topics last night. You can scan the QR code right here on your screen to see and read and watch his speech. There's also an article on our website that goes very in depth into all the issues that we just laid out. Jaffney?
So much, Patty. Now in your morning headlines, President Donald Trump is making good on one of his campaign promises, imposing major tariffs on three of our biggest trading partners. Trump blames China, Canada, and Mexico for trade imbalances and the flow of illegal drugs and migrants into the U.S. However, the president acknowledges his executive orders will force Americans to pay more on everyday items. The prices of gas and groceries are expected to increase in the coming weeks as goods from Canada and Mexico are hit with tariffs as high as 25%.
We may have short term a little pain, and people understand that, but long term, the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world.
Trump says that he's speaking with the leaders of Canada and Mexico today.
And meanwhile, new details emerging this morning from the medical jet crash in Philadelphia on Friday. The cockpit voice recorder was found 8 feet deep inside a massive crater. You see some of the video there. An 11-year-old and her 31-year-old mother, along with 4 crew members, were killed. 1 person on the ground was also killed and 22 were injured. The jet was returning to Mexico after the child was treated at Shriners Hospital. Over the weekend as well, there was also an outage affecting the FAA's pilot warning system. A backup system was activated, causing minimal disruption.
OSCO and the Teamsters Union struck a tentative agreement this weekend to avoid a strike The strike would have affected 56 stores across 6 states, which would have been the largest ever at an American retail chain. It would have also been the first strike ever at Costco. The agreement still needs to be voted on by union members.
All right, some entertainment news this morning. Beyonce's genre-blending smash hit album Cowboy Carter won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. This is the first win in that category for Beyonce, the superstar performer. Up until now, Beyonce had been overlooked for the top honor, previously losing 4 times. With 99 career Grammy nominations, Beyonce holds the record as the most nominated artist in the history of the Recording Academy.
Okay, so every Batman needs a Robin, or in this case, an alien needs a Fox. Wemby and the Spurs are adding former NBA All-Star point guard De'Aaron Fox to the lineup, which is a deal that was done with plenty of time before the NBA trade deadline ends this Thursday. So RJ, of course, has been following this massive trade all night. RJ, what does this move mean for the mindset right now of the season?
Yeah, so basically this is what fans wanted to see, right? I mean, the Spurs basically indicate that they want to win right now, and they obviously know that Wemby is quickly becoming a top 5 NBA player, and he needs a wingman if the Spurs want to get back to any sort of title contention. Kings point guard De'Aaron Fox is getting his wish to join Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. So Wemby is clearly the guy, yes, the Batman here, and of course one of the top players in the NBA that obviously other players want to be a part with and play with. Fox is coming to San Antonio as part of a 3-team trade. He is 27 years old and has 1 more year left on his current deal. So he has not shown a willingness to commit to a long-term contract in Sacramento. That led the Kings to open up those trade talks with De'Aaron last week. Now Fox, who played 1 season at Kentucky back in 2016, was drafted 5th overall by the Kings in 2017. He's played his entire career with the Kings and ranks 4th in career points in Sacramento history. Fox is a 2023 NBA All-Star. He led the NBA in steals last season and was the NBA Clutch Player of the Year in 2023. So again, the major surprise in all this is how the Spurs somehow did not give up any of their core players to get this deal done. So they basically sent Zach Collins and Trey Jones to Sacramento and 3 first-round picks. The Kings got Bulls forward Zach LaVine in the deal as well. So we have Wemby, Fox, Cassell, Vassell, also Keldon Johnson as well, CP3. So for now, this is going to be the squad if San Antonio does not make another move before the deadline. All right, so Fox feels like he's definitely the missing piece here to help Wemby and the Spurs become series playoff contenders. And coming up before 6:30, we're going to check out the schedule as the Silver and Black start their annual rodeo road trip later tonight.
Let's look outside real quick with live cam. Again, good morning, San Antonio. We've been telling you about the fog. Please look out if you're hitting the roads right now. Still ahead, we got the San Antonio Zoo showing some love to visitors. And not just for Valentine's Day, the exclusive perks for members that are coming up all month.
And after the break, a new documentary with never-before-seen footage of Selena. You see it right there. It's already winning some awards. What fans can expect to see once it comes out.
Welcome back at 6:15. We got a new documentary with never-before-seen footage of Selena Quintanilla. Has received an award at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival. The film is about Selena's life and legacy, including the moments from her life on tour and home videos that have not been released from the musician's family archives. It's called Selena's Inos Dinos. Winning the U.S. Documentary Special Jury Award for Archival Storytelling, and is executive produced by Selena's siblings, Suzette and A.B. Quintanilla III, and directed by 5-time Emmy nominee Isabel Castro.
Okay, so yeah, we'll check that out when it becomes available. Member Appreciation Month underway at our San Antonio Zoo. This is a way to say thank you to all the members out there. The zoo is offering, look at a little kangaroo right there. Zoo offering some exclusive perks. Oh, yeah. Okay, giveaways and free experiences throughout February.
There you go. So some of those free experiences include free train and carousel rides. And then also they have a lot of feedings happening too. Kangaroo encounters and going into the butterfly exhibit. Of course, you can learn more about being a member of the zoo by finding this article at KSAT.com. It's a lot of fun. Look how majestic that thing is.
That's how you
I want to tell you. There you go. Go out to the zoo. We got you.
Oh, those tortoises. Those have been around for a while. Yeah.
Joker got that lifespan of a god. Okay, so let's get out to the roadways real quick. 617 right now. And of course, we're looking at crash-free conditions so far. Inbound drive times. There we go.
We're back at TransGuide.
Ours is like, nope. US 281 in Corey, you're looking good. Of course, we're also looking great right now. 281 in Thousand Oaks, also crash-free. And again, all you're dealing with right now is some foggy conditions. So if you guys are driving and you hit those patches, just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So again, Alex Gomez was covering some late-breaking news for us. So he is off the roads at the moment, but again, traffic looking pretty good. All right, looks like we got something there at 410.
Right
Jackson Keller. Okay, we'll check on that one here in just a bit.
All right, it's time to just ask Justin.
It sure is, and we've been giving away the answer this morning if you've been listening. So it's one of those like quizzes where it's open book. What city did the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, their soil for the arena, where did it come from? If you've been listening to Devin, he did let you know, but you can vote. Is it Seguin, Charlotte, Hondo, or Dilley? So far, Charlotte leading the way. Charlotte, Texas, of course, not North Carolina. But back in the 80s, we got the soil from this location, and we still use it to this day. Because today is Dirt Day, if you were curious, at the arena. Okay, so that's our question this morning. We'll reveal the answer here in about half an hour or so. Hey, you guys are showing the animals from the zoo. Don't forget about these varmints.
I'm glad we followed up with this.
Okay, so Phil said 6 more weeks of winter. Big Al out in Beaumont, he ate the chicken or whatever it was. He also said 6 more weeks of winter, but then there's BK Bob, and he says it's an early spring. So it depends on which animal you trust. I mean, they've all got their advantages, right? I guess.
Yeah.
It is a showdown. You know what? If you were just taking the forecast at face value this week, you would say that Bob is the winner. But, beyond this week, it does look like we may get some cold air. So we'll see. In time, we'll be able to tell who's the more accurate animal prognosticator. But this is what I'm going to tell you, is this week is going to be warm. 82 today, 80 Tuesday, 79 Wednesday, 82 Thursday, 83 Friday. The average high is 65. Okay, so this is well above average. And not only is it going to be warm, it's also going to be humid. And we can feel that outside right now. 63 degrees at the airport. Visibility is down to about 2 miles. The humidity is pouring in. And oftentimes when we get a good influx of moisture, we get fog. And that's what we're dealing with this morning. Most everyone's in the 60s with the exception of Bernie. And the satellite picture shows that we've got those morning clouds over top of us right now, and they're trying to spread a little bit further to the north and west, but so far most of the hill country is still seeing clear skies and as a result some cooler temperatures this morning. There's a look at the dew points. We have jumped into the 60s with our dew points, and that is muggy air. And as I said, this muggy air isn't going anywhere. It stays with us all the way through Saturday. So this week is going to feature those morning clouds, morning drizzle, maybe some fog, and then some afternoon sun, and that's exactly the scenario that we'll be dealing with today. By noontime, we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy, 71, and then we'll break out into sun this afternoon, and that should get us up to around 82. Record for today is 85, so I don't think it's in jeopardy, but it is going to be, again, well above average. And then as we look down the line, now this is what I was talking about earlier. You look at February 10th through February 16th, maybe next week, there is an indication we can get a decent front that could bring in some cooler air. So just know that this week will be warm, yes, but next week could be very different. The forecast here, the extended forecast, you see all the 80s there. That front I'm speaking of, at the moment, the models have it coming in Sunday morning. If indeed that does happen, it would be one of those upside down days where we start off warm but end up quite cool with temperatures in the 50s and maybe some rain showers too, and that would continue into next week.
Okay, so we're comfortable. Just a little bit.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
621 right now, 63 degrees outside.
Just ahead, it's the Spurs kick off their rodeo road trip. Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama teaming up for something else. What fans can expect to see an all-star weekend.
No more gross cough syrup.
I want you to feel better.
I want extra TV time or I'll walk.
How about this?
Introducing the only kid soft chew for medicated cough relief. New Mucinex Children's Mighty Chews are mighty clever.
Febreze. Hi, I use Febreze Fade Defy Plug.
And I use this.
Febreze has a microchip to control scent release so it smells first day fresh for 50 days.
50 days?
And its refill reminder light means I'll never miss a day of freshness. Febreze plug.
Special K. For all the special reasons you move. Like being an absolute boss.
Mike had a heart attack a year ago, but he's still living in the red with a very high risk of another attack. With his risk factors, his recommended LDL-C level should be below 55. Are you at risk? Learn how to get a free LDL-C test at attackheartdisease.com.
All right, welcome back. Well, we talked about the De'Aaron Fox trade. That's not the only Spurs news from over the weekend. NBA All-Star Weekend coming up pretty soon here during Valentine's Day. And the Spurs had some big news.
So Spurs guard Chris Paul revealed that he will join Victor Wembanyama for the Skills Challenge. So the Spurs will be well represented all weekend. High-flying rookie Stephon Castle has already committed to participating in the Slam Dunk Contest. And, of course, Wemby playing in the NBA All-Star Game. Slam Dunk Contest and Skills Challenge scheduled for Saturday the 15th.
All right, but the Spurs still have some business to take care of here. Spurs will have their hands full tonight when they kick off their month-long rodeo road trip against the Memphis Grizzlies. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock tonight. And Justin just asked me the question when he thinks De'Aaron Fox might be with the team. I'm thinking it's going to be Atlanta, the Wednesday night game.
All right.
Boom.
All right, 6:26 right now, 63 degrees outside, and just ahead at 6:30, neighbors in the scenic Loop 410 part of town scrambling to stop a company from potentially dumping millions of gallons of wastewater into the Helotes Creek. What the state could decide in the next few weeks. Plus,
coming up this morning on GMSA, we're taking a look at how the dirt goes from here all the way to here at the Frostbank Center to kick off the start of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo.
All right, this morning on GMSA, we're going to be talking about San Antonio police searching for the suspect who shot at an apartment complex overnight. What we were able to learn about a person who was injured.
Plus, SAISD officials are expected to announce the results from the repurposing survey. We'll look at when and how it affects the schools that were closed last year.
And taking a look outside with live cams, starting things out on the low 60s today, and have a little bit of fog in the forecast, but we are coming off of a incredible weekend, including the Western Heritage Weekend. Had an awesome cattle drive out there.
Good morning. It is 6:30 on your Monday, February the 3rd. We're starting a new week.
Yes, it's a Super Bowl week, so I know we're excited about that. It's also rodeo week as well. So again, we appreciate you starting out your morning with us. And again, we're getting closer to the start of the San Antonio Stock Show Rodeo kicking off this Thursday.
Of course, you can't have a rodeo without a little dirt,
Yeah.
right? Volunteers are about to load literal tons of it into the Frostbank Center right now.
And that is where we find our man right there. Look at him all ready to go here. Devin Karp hanging out the Frostbank Center, getting ready for this annual tradition now when it comes to the rodeo. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, RJ. Take a look at this. I got a little bit of the dirt that they're going to be using, right? And this is just my small part of leaving it on here, because if you check out, I never thought I'd be so excited to see a truck full of dirt. There's going to be about 70 of these coming through today who are going to be unloading this dirt, getting ready for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo with all of this dirt. Now, there's more than 2,000 tons of dirt that's going to be over here, spread out using machines just like this one. Now, this soil was originally purchased back in 1988 near Charlotte, Texas, and it's blended in with some sand and a mix of other materials to make sure that it's perfect for the animal athletes. Now, they can't be stepping on any of this concrete coming through here, so it's got to be good soil. If they were to buy new soil every year, that'd be about $20,000 to $25,000. So it's a good time to reuse, reduce, and recycle. So we're still seeing some of these trucks get in here this morning, but volunteers are going to be here throughout the morning. Loading in the dirt into the arena takes about 7 hours. And if you want to take a look at something too, right, we're standing right in the middle of everything. You can see the concrete here, but take a look at the wall right here. You see this tape? That's about a little bit kind of close to my cap here. That's how much dirt needs to be on here for the animals to be safe for all the rodeo and arena activities. It's pretty cool to see all the process, because I've never really thought too much about the dirt beneath my feet, but today I think we're going to be in for a real big treat. We'll have more coming up on GMSA Plus and GMSA at 9. For now, I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks so much, Devin. All right, we got to get to Justin, man, because we got our own little Puxatawny Phil going on behind you.
Listen, I know we've been talking about Phil a lot, so we're gonna talk about Phil one more time, then we're gonna put him to bed. Not like that, but till next year. This is, I don't know what the name of the dog is, but I love this shot. It says 6 more weeks of winter. I'm assuming he didn't see a shadow, but either way, it's a cool shot. We appreciate it. We like the creativity there on our KSAT Connect, so thank you so much for submitting that. Let's go outside for you. We do have some clouds and fog out there, 63 degrees, southerly winds at 7. We're still looking at about 2-mile visibility at the airport, which is not bad. As Alex has been reporting this morning, there's some patches of fog here in the air, but it's not overly dense, at least here around San Antonio. You may also encounter some mist and drizzle. There's just that much humidity in the atmosphere this morning. So the air is pretty thick, and that's going to be the case really throughout the morning and even into the afternoons all this week. It's going to be fairly humid. 71 degrees at noontime today. We'll make our way up to 82, so quite warm. You can wear shorts and t-shirts almost as heading off to school this morning. It is going to be that warm all week as well until we get some changes by the weekend. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. And we do have a major incident right now on the roads. It's going to be on the near northwest side. This is going to be 410 West right there at Jackson Keller Road. So if you're coming up from the 410 I-10 interchange, you're going to be running into some significant delays. It looks like they have at least 2 main lanes blocked at the moment. Again, this is going to be affecting all of our traffic coming in from Callahan Road, going on 410 right before you get to West Avenue, and of course, Blanco Road. Jeff?
Yeah, let's get out to the roadways right now. Photojournalist Alex Gomez, he's been busy all morning long, going back and forth from different places. And right now, it seems like he is stuck in some traffic. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Japhanie, and I'm right in the middle of that backup over here on the north side. Again, it's going to be on the eastbound lanes, 410 eastbound right before Jackson Keller. That's where RJ was mentioning. And so, yeah, the slowing's pretty bad. It looks like the slowing's going to be reaching towards Fredericksburg Road right now. So it's already gained quite the backup. I'm going to be in this. I'll let you know how long it takes me to get through this. But right now, I can tell you that it's pretty slow moving right now. Everyone's trying to decide which lane to get on. So I'll let you know how it goes, Japhanie.
All right, Alex, thanks so much. Take it easy out there. 6:35 right now. New this morning, gunfire erupted at an apartment complex on the city's north side overnight, and now police are now searching for the shooter. It happened on Patricia Drive, not far from West Avenue. San Antonio police say that a man in a blue van pulled up, walked up to an apartment, fired shots through a window, and then took off in the van. SCPD says that the victim thought that he was hit in the face, but he was actually glass fragments. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
All right, listen up. And if you are out in Lytle, there is still an active boil water notice in your area. Remember, we told you about this on Friday. The mayor posted on social media that they're expecting an update on some of that water testing later today. Until then, you're asked to follow that notice. So again, don't use or drink your water until after boiling it. And one note too, it is not safe for you. And just keep in mind that if it's not safe for you, it's not safe for your pets as well. All right, Know My Neighborhood update here. And speaking of water, this is a story that we've been telling you about for months now. And again, we told you last May this in a Know My Neighborhood episode out there on the far northwest side.
So neighbors in the scenic Loop 410 part of town scrambling to stop a Florida development company from potentially dumping millions of gallons of wastewater into the Helotes Creek and potentially contaminating the Edwards and the Trinity aquifers. All
right, so in a few weeks, the state could decide if that development company gets a wastewater permit. But in the meantime, hundreds of people showed up to the View at Helotes Creek yesterday for the 1 Million Gallon March. People marched with empty gallon containers, signs, and banners to express concern and raise awareness for this issue in their neighborhood.
The water of approximately 2 million people is at risk here.
It's an ecosystem, and that water that will be affected just within a mile or two of Gray Forest is also going to affect all of San Antonio because those aquifers are all in tangent with each other.
The threat of development in sensitive regions, including The flow of sewage water into the Helotes Creek and effluent in the Helotes Creek is a danger, not just to the immediate surrounding areas in Helotes and throughout the Gray Forest, the city of Gray Forest, but to the entire region of San Antonio that enjoys clean drinking water from the Edwards Aquifer.
So that wastewater permit hearing is scheduled to start on February the 18th. And of course, we'll bring you the latest from that legal proceedings when it happens on air and online at KSAT.com.
All right, looking ahead here to tomorrow, SAISD officials are expected to announce the results from their repurposing survey. The district asked the community to participate in that survey on what should happen to the 15 schools that were closed due to right-sizing last year. Over 9,300 people participated, and district officials will release those results tomorrow at noon and then again at 5 p.m. Both of those will be on Zoom. You can find a link to register for that Zoom call on our website, KSAT.com.
And before we go to break, Ángela Sin Fronteras is a nonprofit that's been helping cancer patients for years. And in about a week, the group is giving out dozens of wigs for free. Happening on February the 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Texas Oncology San Antonio. That's in the medical center. The groups are expected to fit 70 wigs and distribute cosmetic kits and scarves to cancer patients. You do have to register for the giveaway, but we have a link to do that on our website at KSAT.com.
All right, good stuff there. Well, 6:38 right now, 63 degrees on your Monday morning.
Still ahead, we will have 6 more weeks of winter, question mark, or is spring on the way? The ceremony predicting weather patterns according to Pennsylvania's official meteorologist and the final verdict he made.
Look, he ain't no BK Bob, okay? Just ahead, though, flu season is hitting Texans hard this year. We're going to look at how sickness is keeping a lot of kids out of class in 2 major school districts.
Take a look outside right now with live cam. Good morning, San Antonio. Again, 63 degrees outside, a little foggy out there. So if you are out and about, keep that in consideration as you're off on your commutes. CDC is reporting 16 million cases of flu this season nationwide. And of course, you can see Texas is in the high category for flu activity.
Yeah, indicated by that dark maroon color right there. And this can definitely have an impact for people at work and school as well.
Our very own Patty Santos right now has been looking at the flu numbers here at home. Patty, of course, what do we see right here?
So just last week, I actually checked this map and we were not yet in that maroon color. We were still in the red, which is still very high. But doctors want to remind people who haven't gotten their flu shot to get it as soon as possible. It might not prevent the flu 100% of the time, but they say it will make the symptoms a little less severe. Now, the numbers being recorded by some health agencies higher than what we've seen in recent years. Dr. Jason Bowling with UT Health San Antonio says it could be for a lot of reasons, including not taking the same precautions that we did right after COVID. And there's also been a drop in the number of people getting their flu vaccine. He says, for the most part, it's okay to return to work 24 hours after you no longer have a fever without the use of medicine, but you should still stay away from people.
People can have a kind of a persistent nagging cough and some congestion afterwards. So it's generally thought that people are probably transmissible to others for about a week, 7 days from when their symptoms start, maybe a couple days before their symptoms start, which is one of the risks. It's one of the reasons it transmits so easily, but about 7 days. Your cough may last longer than that, right? And you may still have some getting back to normal, getting back to baseline that may take longer than that time period.
And we checked with other hospitals. Baptist Health System tells us they've also seen an increase in flu cases in their San Antonio and New Braunfels locations. We know this is something that affects school absences. So we reached out to some school districts to find out how many kids were out last month and compare it to 2024. And Northeast ISD shared some of those numbers. You could see those numbers right there on your screen. SAISD also had some pretty high numbers compared to last year as well. Now, I have also been hearing from parents. They are also reporting a lot of sicknesses that are going on. Doctors say just make sure that they get plenty of rest, they get plenty of water, and hopefully they're eating well to get their bodies back in order. Japhanie?
Thank you so much, Patty.
Yes.
Very good tips right
Make sure you
there.
stay safe out there. All right, let's give you a quick look at our traffic situation because north side to northwest side right now. Taking a look here around the Castle Hills area, and we are starting to see now a pretty good backup here for our drivers that are coming on 410 East. So again, 410 East, right past the I-10-410 interchange, right before you get to West Avenue. A couple of main lanes blocked out there. One shot there of the quarry, and everything else across the city is looking okay. Inbound times 31 minutes if you're coming in far west side out there in Castroville. Jaff.
All right. Yeah, no, things are looking the way they're looking. And right now we have our one and only photojournalist, Alex Gomez, on the roadways, giving us that firsthand sight. Hey, Alex, you're rolling now. You were in traffic before.
Yeah, I was in that backup for quite some time, but it wasn't too bad. It only took me about 10 minutes to get through that north side accident. So just keep that in mind. Again, 410 eastbound right there by West Avenue. The backup was starting to hit around Fredericksburg Road. It might get a little bit longer, but the good news is that we are in the clearing stages as of right now. So it could be clearing up pretty soon. Add about 10 to 15 minutes to your commute if you're headed through that direction. Jeffney.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex. And like him, there's going to be a lot of people going back to school today on the roadways. And right now I want to give some love to my kiddos over there at Rita K. Driggers Elementary School. It was so awesome being with them in their classrooms. Of course, we had the rotations going on, but shockingly, a lot of kids still watch the news nowadays. That's one thing that I
like to
asked
hear
them,
that.
and they raised their hand, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at you guys. So yeah, no, shout out to them. And I pray that they had, it was a lot of different people during the career day. You had, you know, I think they had like a HEB mascot in there. Batman was in the room. So it was really cool meeting you guys. So shout out to you guys and thank you so much for welcoming me in your classroom. Very sweet, sweet individuals.
Man, how do you compete with that?
Exactly.
That's the coolest job ever.
Exactly.
Or the HE buddy. I mean, that's a tough one too, but I'm sure you held your own.
Oh yeah, no, it was great.
No, I'm good. I'm glad to hear that. It's always fun to do those career days. It really is. Okay. Speaking of school, let's take you to school right now in our Just Ask Justin question. What city did the San Antonio Sectional Rodeo soil for the arena come from? They purchased this back in 1988, and they keep using the same soil. But what city? Seguin, Charlotte, Hondo, or Dilley? We've been giving you the answer throughout the morning if you've been listening. And our folks, they're good listeners.
Oh, yeah. So far, Charlotte, definitely.
Yes.
Paying attention to Devin, you got it.
That is the answer. It is Charlotte, Texas, which is, of course, just south of San Antonio. Again, they started that in 1988.
Yeah.
And they save money by using the same soil over and over, and they store it every year. And anyway, that is the answer to the Just Ask Justin question this morning. And as we look at Mountain Cedar, okay, this red line represents where we would see the average of Mountain Cedar. And typically we peak right about now, start of February, and then it falls off pretty sharply as we get towards mid-February. But something interesting about this season is it wasn't really that bad for a long while. Yeah, we had some decent counts, but nothing that were too high. So these bars represent the actual counts. We had a couple of days where we had some high counts, but again, nothing that was kind of off the charts. Now, recently, we've had a couple of bad days here, and it looks like maybe we're trending a little bit later with the season. So we'll see where we end up next couple of days as far as, the season maybe have been moved back just a little bit. We'll keep you posted, but know that we have not had any really, really bad days. We actually usually have a peak count somewhere around 20,000 to 32,000 at some point during our season. We have not seen that. The highest count we've had has been right around 9,000 this year. The highest count we've ever seen, if you're curious, was back in 1982 where we had an 80,000 count. And man, that just makes me sneeze thinking about it. And then highest count in the last 15 years was 48,000 in 2011. So nowhere near those numbers. And that is certainly good news. All right, satellite picture shows we got some of those morning clouds working in, some fog and a little bit of drizzle in spots, although the fog has kind of lifted a little bit here in San Antonio. And visibility is still showing 2 miles at the airport, but I'd honestly say it's maybe a little bit better than that. New Braunfels, 2 miles, Pleasanton, 10 miles, and really most of the area isn't seeing just thick fog. Where we end up this afternoon, 82 here in San Antonio, some upper 80s down to the south. The record for today is 85, set back in 1974. I don't think we get there, but boy, we're pretty close. The average high is 65, so we're well above that mark. Dew points are going to stay high all week long. So not only will it be warm, it will also be very humid before we get cold front Sunday, and that cools us down and dries us out at least some. But we're going to get some cooler air coming in here, I think, next week. This is the temperature outlook for February 10th through the 16th. That blue color represents a higher likelihood of below average temperatures working your way down into Texas. So something to remember, keep in the back of your mind. But this week, lots of 80s in the forecast. And again, it'll be humid. We'll get morning clouds and then afternoon sun almost each and every day before that front gets here on Sunday to cool us down back into the 50s. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back as we start February. San Antonio getting ready for all kinds of events to celebrate Black History Month. Films, music, markets, so many more events happening all month long all over town.
And you can check out a list of what is going on across the Alamo City on our website, KSAT.com. And a reminder to everyone out there, you know what? The party is not over just yet. GMSA is going to continue into our 7 o'clock hour. Join us for GMSA Plus starting in just a few minutes. You can watch it only on KSAT Plus and KSAT.com.
All right, before we go, guys, check this out. He came out of his cage and he's doing just fine. Anticipation, there you go. The anticipation is over because the weather prediction wrote it. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow officially decreeing 6 more weeks of winter for the world.
Okay, so does that make him Mr. Brightside? I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of Mr. Gray side now, Mr. Gloomy side.
Yes, well, it's important to note, though, as Justin pointed out last week, that Phil only has about a 35% accuracy rate. So though the shadow is cast, his forecast may not always hold true.
Jealousy. All right, let's get out to the roadways right now.
Yeah, let's check out Alex Gomez right on the roads now. We did have that one crash at 410 and Jackson Keller, but it looks like Alex is already heading back to the downtown area. Alex, what's going on?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. I am driving through downtown and I just left the highways. The highways are still looking pretty good, up to speed. I'm going to head back to the station. I want to get Justin's thoughts on Phil's forecast and the spring forecast coming up.
Very nice, very nice. Okay. All right, Alex, well, yeah, safe travels out there. Let's go ahead and check it with the one and only Punxsutawney Phil's biggest fan out there, Justin Horn.
He is kind of cute.
Oh, now he's cute.
Hey, Alex, turn left and get some tacos, man. He was close to getting some tacos. That would be great for a Monday morning. Hey, 82 degrees Monday for today, 80 Tuesday, 79 Wednesday, 82 Thursday. We've got lots of clouds this week. You're going to see those morning clouds and then some afternoon sun, but above average all week long until we get into the weekend where we'll get some cooler weather on Sunday. Hey, RJ, are we going to talk to Aaron Fox coming up on GMSA Plus?
You know it, man. Big day for Spurs Nation out there. We got our guy to team up with Wemby.
There we go. We're talking Spurs, we're talking Grammys, we're talking a lot of stuff. Stay with us, guys. We'll be back in a couple minutes.